So a simplified version of Joy Crookes' Mother May I Sleep with Danger is kind of based, I've based it around three sections, which are the three sections the guitarist uses. I've got some slight delay on the amp, which helps with getting the rhythm. And then, there's basically a finger picking section at the start, a sustained section, and a strumming section at the end, all of which are loosely based around the same kind of chord progression. This is the first section. So you have the open low E string. Your middle finger goes on the 7th fret of the A string. First finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Ring finger on the 7th fret of the G string. Little finger on the 8th fret of the B string, which gives you this chord. Then the second chord, you bar the 5th fret, and with your ring finger you hit the 7th fret of the A string, but the strings that you'll be playing are pretty much the E, the D, and the G, and the B. And then from there you move it up a little, so it does a move which, again, I don't have quite down. This is kind of a simple down version of it. If you really want to get into the details, this is kind of just like a starting point, but it moves up something like this. It's not quite, but you basically want to move that the E string is the most important, the accompanying chords. I don't have that too much yet, so yeah, from there it's bar the 8th fret for the 3rd chord, and with your ring and little finger on the D and G of the 9th fret. And again you hit the E, the D, and G, and the B string. So you leave the top E and the A out. And then the last chord, which I don't quite have down either, this is sounding like a productive tutorial already. You bar the 7th fret. With your little finger stays exactly where it was on the last chord, but this time you pick the E, the A, the D, and the G. And eventually that moves down, so the little finger goes down one, and the ring finger comes on the A string. So that's the first section. So the picking for that goes a little like this. I'll go a little slower than the song, so hopefully you'll be able to pick that up. Up to speed, you know what that sounds like. It's a quick little burst of the speed would be. It's exactly the same. So then the next section is the kind of sustained section. So the first chord is exactly the same as the first chord last time. And then the next chord you do, the chord shape is exactly the same as that first chord, but your little finger slides up a fret. So you have this. All the fingers are kind of closer together. And with this, if you use the middle finger as the first kind of reference, keep exact same chord shape, but go to the 5th fret, and he slides up to the 6th, so it's like that. So then the next chord, you bar from the D string down on the 5th fret, and you hammer on to the 7th fret with your little finger of the E string. Just like that. And then the next chord, you bar from the A string down on the 3rd fret, and with your ring finger you go to the 5th fret of the D string, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and little finger on hammers onto the B, and there's a little between the B and the E, sorry, so it's something like that. And then the last chord, you go to ring finger on the 9th fret of the D string, middle finger on the 8th fret of the G string, little finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and first finger on the 7th fret of the E string. I find it a little easier just to bar below that to hit that E string. That sounds like this. Again, that's a simplified version. I think he does some chord variations after that, but that sounds a little like this. And then the last section is the strummed version, so that's pretty much the same chords. I'll stop when there's any difference. First different chord, or the only different chord. So first finger goes to bar the second. It's a bit of a stretch, this one, and I play it in quite the easiest way for me is to move the ring finger down to the 4th fret of the D, but I'm sure you can find a more comfortable way to play this. So ring finger to the 4th fret of the D, and little finger stays on the 5th fret of the B, and eventually moves down. So you have that, and the little finger eventually slides down. So that whole section sounds like this. That's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions at all.